Now I think we're live. So
No, what's up?
we got Josh Quintanilla, my man Quinn Forte, who we haven't heard from for a while, and we're just reconnecting right now. And I thought, what better way of doing it than including you guys in the conversation? Even though I'm not quite sure yet how I can see your comments in live time. So yeah, that's something that I'll
Send
have
it through
to.
DM.
Yeah, no, that's something that I'll have to work on is figuring out exactly um, how to know whether people are commenting and what they're actually saying. But it doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is we've got you here, and we want to know, what's going on in your life and what's up. What happened since we went through a crazy journey together last summer, and it got really super deep at times, and you were making crazy strides. And then I think, were experiencing some of the weight that comes along with being an online coach, right? And everyone wants to be an online coach these days. Everyone thinks that, oh, I'll just solve all my problems in the world by just being an online coach, and I'll make lots of money and I'll sleep with lots of women and I'll have all these students and I'll be the fucking shit. And I don't think that was necessarily your dream, but I do know that the more you got into it, whether that was me putting a little bit of pressure on you or you putting a little bit of pressure on yourself, you started to feel some pressure. And yeah, I want to know what's going on with you right now, Josh, and give us a little quick update.
Yeah, pressure. Pressure can be a very good thing. Of course, that's how you grow is stretching yourself in any area of life. The example that everybody uses is like whenever you're going to the gym, you got to kind of push yourself a little bit. You gotta really kind of feel a little bit of pain in order to kind of embrace and grow. And so there's nothing wrong with pressure. I think I was feeling more like whenever it's interesting, like I've really been having to ask myself more than anything, taking a step back from everything, not just that, but everything that I've been doing, just asking like, what is it that I actually want? And like, what do I want to do? How do I want to live life? What am I supposed to do? Like internally, because like you were saying, everybody wants to do this thing right now, but it's very trendy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very trendy to do it. And it's the same thing with like, there's so many different things like being a musician right now. It's, being a rapper, being this kind of pop star, rock star kind of rapper. It's very trendy. There's a lot of people just jumping on to do it, and you'll never hear from them again because, they'll drop a couple songs and that's it, because that's not really what they want to do. They're not passionate about it. It gives them that quick validation, that quick whatever, and they have attention, they have the money, they have whatever for a brief period of time. But so honestly, I've just been taking a lot of time to really introspect and just really allow myself to do nothing, like with no pressure, not forcing myself to try to get anywhere, not trying to force myself to be this or that person or to achieve this. It's like literally just like, okay, why, if I have this urge to do this, where is this coming from? Why do I have this urge to do this? Like, is this authentically coming from a place of inspiration for me, or is it coming from a place of like my shadow, coming from some expectation that I've been, some demons or voices that somebody else has told me this is what you need to feel or be a good or an amazing person, a person that is worthy of whatever whatever you want to be
Love.
worthy of.
A person that's
Yeah.
worthy of
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
worthy of respect,
Yeah.
worthy of women, worthy of making money.
Mm-hmm. For
So
sure.
when did you realize that, all right, I need to take a break? I need to take a step back. You know, you went from being one of the most active guys in the mastermind, coaching a lot of guys with me in the mastermind, to, literally taking a time to just, be by yourself. And as you said, do a really deep dive in introspection. What triggered that? When did you realize, all right, I need this time to myself?
I realized it afterwards, like later, because I have, this is something that I also need to dive a little bit deeper into. I definitely have noticed a pattern of, I like to like just leave. Like I'm really bad at saying goodbye to people. Like I'm really bad at like, and it's just a pattern that I've seen in different areas of my life. I just kind of like disappear.
You bounce.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Josh is bouncing like, peace, I'm out.
Yeah. Hey yo, bye, Felicia. And nah, so I don't really know where it comes from. I think it has to do with commitment, because I definitely struggle with different like commitment in different areas too. Um, Commitment's a pretty deep topic. It's a pretty deep, like commitment runs a lot deeper than just like we think of commitment, we think of like a relationship or this or that or this or that. It runs a lot deeper than that. So, after I left, then later I realized for whatever reason, I don't remember exactly what started getting me to this place of just like I got to a place where it's just like, man, I'm not progressing anywhere in life. And I've been trying for so long to progress. I've definitely developed internally. I feel more aware and more capable of handling different things in life. I feel that I have capabilities that I didn't used to have. And I've definitely grown internally, but I haven't seen these reflections on the outside. Like I'm still wanting to improve these different areas of my life, and I feel stuck in this box. I feel like you feel stuck. You feel like completely boxed in and isolated. And that's when I realized, okay, I need to actually dive deeper into the feeling and dive deeper into what's going on within me that's holding me back from making any physical changes in my life, any manifestations or whatever term you want to use for that.
Do you think that the mentorship helped you to get to that place?
Yeah, for sure.
Because where were you at when you started compared to when you made that decision to take a deep introspective dive? If you think back to when we first talked,
it's hard to remember, honestly. Everything's kind of a blur to me.
Yeah. If you think back to when we first talked, where you didn't have a lot of direction, a lot of sense of purpose, and you were kind of confused about what you were doing, um, would you say that it came full circle after, I don't know, what was it, like 4 or 5 months, of working on your
In what
brand,
way?
working on your self-love, you're working on your brand, you're starting to coach guys, you're getting all of this attention
No,
on your
like, what do you
Facebook
mean
page.
by full circle? Like, what do you mean by full circle? Like,
What I mean is that after 4 or 5 months, did you feel like you were back at step one? Or did you feel like you were on level 2 or level 3 or level 4? Like you had leveled up in life, or that you were
yeah, it's
still
like,
trying to figure out your foundations?
yeah, I both. Like, like it feels like I went back to step one, but level two. If that
Okay,
makes
step
sense.
one of level two. So it's
Yeah,
like
like
you went up to a new paradigm of, all
mhm,
right, now I've got all these new skills, but now I need to figure out what am I going to do with them.
mhm,
And I think
mhm,
that, you know, I kind of realized that from an outsider's perspective that you're a very perceptive person, you know? Like the first time that we spoke, it didn't take a lot of it didn't take a lot of convincing for you to understand that this was like a good fit for us to work together because you're a very perceptive person. You saw my energy was aligned with the way that I was speaking and that I actually cared about you. And then I followed through on that promise and you talked about that later on.
mhm.
But you also got to a point where you realized with your perception that, all right, right now, I need to reassess where I'm at in my life and what I'm gonna do with this new brand that I've created, what I'm gonna do with this new potential and this new power, not only to connect with others, but also to go deep and to love myself and to dive deeper into levels of consciousness that I think you were interested in, you were searching for, and then you started to go deeper and deeper and deeper. You know, you were doing interviews, you were coaching guys. You went from not knowing a lot about shadow work to actually teaching it to some guys. And then you had to ask
Mhm.
yourself, like, but what about my shadow?
Yeah. Oh, that's the big thing. Yeah. It's so much easier to help other people than it is to do your own shit.
Hell yes. Hell yeah.
Like very difficult to do your own because you're blind. Like if you have a blind spot, you can't see the blind spot.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that you can see is a pattern.
Hmm.
Okay. So I talked about this yesterday on the men's circle. I got a little bit emotional. I was like, I got a pattern right now. Amir Geva led us in this amazing men's circle yesterday, Josh. You were severely missed, dearly missed. And the topic of the men's circle was rejection. And I've faced a lot of rejection in my life.
Hmm.
I'm sure you have as well. And when it got to me at the very end, I was just talking to the guys about how I feel like I'm rejecting myself from having relationships continue um, rather than get cut short. Because I connect with so many people, and with some people I connect on a really deep level, but with some people I'll connect with on a really deep level, and then boom, all of a sudden there will be like some drama or something that happens, and the relationship gets cut short. And so
Hmm.
it's hard for me to coach myself out of that. But considering one of the things that I preach to guys is awareness, I do feel a sense of awareness for it. I do feel a sense of acceptance that all right, I've got something that I need to work on, something that I actively,
Hmm.
ask other coaches about. How can I fix this problem that
Hmm.
I've got, or this opportunity, if you don't want to call it a problem, this experience that I'm going through in my life, this shadow that's following me, this demon or past life experience, right? And it's like coaching myself out of it, it seems to lead to a road to nowhere. But observing the pattern seems to relieve a lot of stress and anxiety,
Hmm.
considering at least I know that there is a pattern,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
The more aware you are of your behavior, the easier it is to make a decision to change the behavior. But you can't really do that unless you're actually aware of the behavior that you're. It's the mind is so weird because we have this perception in many times, at least I find in myself, like I have a different perception of myself than maybe what other people perceive of me. And that could be in different areas, but it's like I may think that like I know that I think deeply. I know that many times I'm really fun and have a lot of fun and I'm really outgoing, but other people don't necessarily see that. That's not what I present to them. So they don't know that about me. But like I just assume that they know that about me, but they don't know that about me. I forgot why I was saying that, but there was a reason I was saying that. It was connected to what you were saying.
Well, you know, that's really connected to personal branding. That has a lot to do with the way in which you market yourself. So if, you know, you're marketing yourself, and I saw that early on about you as this like really dark, you know, serious, like fucking gangster dude, then people are going to look at you that way. But then if you're marketing yourself and branding yourself, it's like a healer, a guy that's into consciousness, that's into love, that is into awareness, that, you know, is fun, funny, charismatic on the camera, because you always were very charismatic whenever you get on a camera and you'd be like, yo, what's up? It's Josh. And people would love that. They would eat it up. You know, in a very short amount of time, you had a whole new network of people that resonated with your voice and with your message. But that was because you honed in on the actual clarity behind what you wanted to portray to people. And in one level, that can be severely manipulated, which many people do, and they put on a suit and tie and they smile and wave, right? Or, you know, they do the photo shoots with the hot girls and they do the Photoshop and Lightroom edits and they look for the perfect angles and they manipulate everything. Okay.
There was I can't remember who it was. There was this rapper that he's not really relevant now, and but he was like relevant like a while ago, like like 10 years ago or some shit. And he took a video in the back. He took a picture in the back of a jet. He was in like the coach class, he was like in the back of the jet. He took a picture. He was talking about how he posted on Instagram about how he was on a private jet and it was his jet and somebody else was on that jet and they took a picture of him taking the picture. And so I got a lot of shit for that.
It wasn't his jet. Whose jet was it?
It was a class, like coaching class. He was in the back of a fucking like.
Oh, it was like a normal fucking plane, and he called it a jet, his private jet. But that's the thing. That's the thing is these days with social media, you can manipulate so much. And that's why this field of personal branding is so misunderstood. And I'm very particular about what I resonate with. And it's so particular that it causes me a little bit of tension, if not a lot of tension, where, you know, we had a guy a few weeks ago, Josh, come into the group and try making a post about how, you know, personal branding is bad if you're not always trying to sell yourself. Okay. And so I deleted the post and he shamed me for it when I called him out on it. All right. I made an Instagram story the other day about how I don't resonate with people that buy followers or buy celebrity shout outs just to increase their following account on Instagram. And guess what happened? I had one guy who was really supportive of me in this community, you know, leave my life because he got triggered because he bought a celebrity shout out really recently. And I had another guy who was another coach who I had never even done a call with, who I had no idea that he had bought a celebrity shout out. Actually, he didn't even buy it. He had like a girlfriend who had like lots of followers, like millions of followers on like TikTok and Instagram and shit. And she shouted him out. And when I posted that story, he got triggered and started, you know, messaging me. And I'm like, what, bro? Like, that wasn't even directed at you. But the thing is, like, this personal branding field is a lot more controversial and un unspoken. There's like an unspoken kind of like undertone that people don't talk about. Okay, that you know who you are, and if you're doing something that's unethical and someone calls you out either directly or indirectly, like it's gonna hurt. And
Yeah,
the
it is.
question is, yeah, it's gonna hurt. And the question is like, how are you gonna handle it? And for me, for example, like that guy, the first one that I was telling you about, like made a public post on his profile shaming me. And it wasn't the first time this has happened since I started coaching. And my initial reaction was, oh, fuck. Like, I had another guy tell me, oh, this would be so bad for your brand. Now, that guy, granted, is not a branding coach, but I got a little bit anxious. I didn't feel a lot of love in that moment. I felt
Mhm.
kind of hurt. I felt a little bit of pain. And then a few days later, I had my friend and one of my personal brand, like you could even call him like a mentor in a way, Ash Borland. And I jumped on one of his personal brand master classes and I told him what happened. He's like, bro, that's the best thing. Because if you understood anything about brand exposure, you would realize that it's better to get your name out there in a negative fashion rather than not to get your name out there at all if you're trying to get your name
Yeah,
out.
I can see that.
But is getting your name out in the sense of you're someone that's fake, that buys followers, is that actually what you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for faking it in the back of the private jet? Like, you really have to ask yourself these kind of questions before you make those moves. And I'm going to be traveling
Mhm.
around the world doing pictures of a lot of the guys in this group, connecting with them and helping them with their brands. And I'm going to question them on that. And I'm going to be like, what what do you want, you know, out of your brand? Where are your values? Where are your morals? Where's your integrity? Because this was what we were going to talk about today, that there's really no magic bullet formula that's going to fix all your problems.
Mhm. Yeah,
To each specific person,
it all comes back to what I was saying,
go
like
for it.
what you just said there. You're kind of breaking up a second. What did you say? Oh shit.
No, no, go for it. Go for it.
No! No, you were breaking up. I didn't hear what you said.
You were just talking about how it all comes back to that point that you were discussing.
Um. Oh, asking yourself what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Like, what do you really want? Like, if you feel like you're having to put on this persona, if you're having to like present yourself as somebody you're not, like, especially like especially if you're doing it for like dating,
Yeah.
like she's gonna like the whole point of it is to meet up with the person and be very intimate with them, like know them on a and of course I'm not like a dating expert, but like from what it's like the point is to like connect with this person on a deep level. They're going to see whether or not you're being authentic or not. And if you're not able to hold up that facade of what you're presenting yourself as, it's just like there's going to be a congruence issue, and it's just like, what was the point of it? They're not going to want to be with you, not because of who you are, but because you're not really who you said you were.
Or if they do end up going with you, later on down the line, they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth over what they experienced.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh,
they're
you're
going to be
talking about
like,
like with other people, or like,
I'm saying that, let's say you do hold up that frame for a while,
mm-hmm.
okay? Where you go out on that Tinder date, or you meet that girl on the street, or even on a business sense, you attract that client and you get him to sign up. But then you don't
Mm-hmm.
follow through on your promise. you don't actually be the man that you're meant to be. You don't help that person to actually build their business or to, build their life. They're going to have a bad taste in their mouth about you. They're not going to want to talk to you anymore. They're not going to want to refer clients to you. They're not even going to want to see your fucking face.
Yeah.
And I've had the best of both worlds, where I've had, some guys that I've done coaching with who, maybe I learned something from them, but honestly, man, would I want to meet up with them in real life after the experience that I had in that, coaching experience? No, I wouldn't. And the same thing with women. There are some women that I've dated that it's just like, after that experience that we went through, I wish you the best, but I don't want to see you again. And there are others that it's like, dude, if you died, I would be very fucking sad. And if you need anything from me, I'm there for you. And it's something deeper. It's like, what do you want? Do you want to be known for someone that actually like cares about other people, that actually held up to their most authentic self? Like, dude, it actually blows my mind thinking about it now that guy who left this group, he preaches authentic communication, and he's buying celebrity shout outs to increase his follower count on Instagram. Like,
that's interesting.
where is the congruency there? And I'm not perfect. I talk about that every time. Every time I call someone out, I also in the same sentence say, you know what? I'm not perfect. But seriously, like, it needs to be thought about, because we're in this personal development space where we're constantly questioning what's going on. We're questioning society. We're questioning our life purpose. We're questioning our relationships, our relationship with a higher power, our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with our family, our relationship with a significant other. We're questioning, whether or not those relationships benefit us, whether or not we're online with our purpose and with our North Star. And if the answer is no, you have to ask yourself why. What's going on there? What are you missing? And something that, I commend you for doing is taking a step back and saying, what's missing right now from my life? What is it that I want? What is it that's not making me completely happy? Because you're an action taker. You've been a part of communities. You've been a leader in some. You've been a coach. You've been a rapper, You've been a student of life. And yet, from what I hear, you're not 100% fulfilled. And when you realize that, you have to ask yourself, why? What's going on there? Because there is enlightenment, there is fulfillment, there is peace, there is prosperity inside of all of us.
Yeah, 100%. That's the default. That's who we are as a kid. Like as a kid, you don't. I mean, you're not. I think there's also a misconception between being happy or being enlightened and being happy. Because happiness is an emotion, or there's the emotion of happiness, and then there's also contentment with an acceptance of life, which are two different things. So you can be accepting of your life without necessarily being happy, but you accept that you're not happy, if that makes sense. You're okay with the fact that you're not happy at the moment. It doesn't bother you necessarily. That's where a lot of frustration comes in. That's actually something that's been very big for me the last couple of days, is just asking, like, I gotta stop trying to be happy. Because, like, there's resistance there, because then you beat yourself up if you're not happy. So then that you can't become happy if you're angry at yourself. Does that make sense?
Dude, it makes complete sense. And to me, as like, this fucking public figure coach right now, if every day I wake up and I say, all right, I'm not happy, like I'm not going to work, I'm not going to go coach, I'm not going to take these calls, then I would have quit by now. Because I'm not fucking happy every day that I wake up. Sometimes I want to get back into bed. Sometimes I feel like shit. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this, my life purpose? Why did I choose this? And I'm just like, because I gotta do it, because I can serve other people, because I can help them. Because I just decided that, Thomas helped me to realize that I just gotta devote myself to this. And if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. But you know what? I do deep down want to do it. Not because it's easy, but because it's just what I'm meant to do. It's where I'm at in my life. There's going to be a time real soon where I take a step back from coaching. I go travel the world, go do some ayahuasca, maybe do a yoga retreat in India, maybe, do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu in Thailand. Okay. Maybe just chill in Portugal and learn some Portuguese for a while, or hang out in some cool community. But right now,
Brazilian jiu-jitsu in Thailand.
they've got like BJJ gyms. They've got in like Phuket, like Muay Thai, a lot of Muay Thai and boxing and kickboxing and whatnot.
That's cool.
Dude, come join me. Join me.
That'd be dope. That's awesome. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I get my passport updated, I think.
Yeah, Phuket.
I'm open to it.
Phuket Top Team is a really good gym that I've had some friends in the Israeli army that were telling me about it.
Phuket Top Team.
For like a very small amount of money, you can live there, you work out, you get a nice villa, you get food, and all day you just fucking train, you just, beat yourself up, you beat other people up, and you come out of there like a beast, like a savage. And I have that vision in my mind for a long time now, that I'm going to do that, that I'm going to go and I'm going to, train my body, and then I'm going to train my mind. I'm going to go to some ashram and I'm just going to chill there for a while. Maybe I'm going to go down. I was watching a movie last night called The Last Shaman, about a boy from Massachusetts who had a story that was very similar to mine, right? His parents had a lot of expectations for him and he couldn't hold up to them. Why? Because that wasn't his fucking path. It just made him miserable, all that fucking pressure. So what did he do? He dropped out of school, and I went to Israel and changed my life, and I did it in a little bit more, I think, of a less extreme way, even though it was pretty, polarizing. But he ended up going down to Peru and seeking a shaman, and living the ayahuasca village for like 6 or 8 months or something like that. And it's just like, a lot of people need that shit, but they're scared to take that step. It's something that, I've talked to you about a lot, about how, since the day that I met you, you've been in that room. And you haven't changed up your environment. Yeah. And since the day that you met me, I've been in, I was in Israel, and then I was in Croatia, and then I was in Hungary, and now I'm in Budapest, and I've changed Airbnbs, and I've changed homes, and I've changed environments, and moving around, it's not possible for everyone. I understand that, but actually it's a lot more feasible than you think. You just made a choice not to, whether that was conscious or subconscious, and my subconscious is telling me that I need to be moving around because it's healthy, because it keeps me on my toes, because it makes me feel happy, because it clears out old energy. You know, I was gonna write a little Instagram post, Instagram story where I was like, life is a revolving door. Let out the old energy and bring in the new. Let out the old and bring in the new. And do that on a daily basis. What do you need to let go of? And what do you need to embrace? Because the more shit that you hold on to and that you carry around, it just makes it more difficult, man. It makes it more difficult to step into your purpose, and it makes it more difficult to devote yourself to it. You got any other final thoughts, or do you want to finish this up?
I mean, there's always shit to talk about. There's always shit to talk about. Like, I think a message that I just really want to stress right now, I really want to hammer on, is asking why you're in the situation that you're in, and asking yourself, what do you really want? Like, do you want this? If you have a goal for what you want, is that really what you want? Or is that something that society has given to you? Or whatever. Like, is that authentically what you want? Or do you actually feel excited about that? Or is that coming from a place of needing to prove yourself and needing to, you want the fruits of the labor as opposed to actually enjoy doing the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very easy to convince yourself that you want the thing when really what you want is what the thing can give you.
I'm gonna let you get the last word on this one, so we're gonna leave it off right there. Josh, it's always a pleasure to
Yeah.
speak with
Yeah.
you, to reconnect with you. Yeah, final question. What do you think 2021 has in store for you?
For me,
Yeah. You got any you got any plans or vision
I
or
don't
changes that
know.
you think are on the horizon?
No. Like, I mean, I do, but I don't. I'm really just trying to let go of any expectation, to be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have intention. My intention is to just let go of this thing that I feel is blocking me, or like kind of work my way through that. Um, I guess I can see myself potentially probably getting out of here
Mm-hmm.
at some point this year. I don't know when, but I could see it. I'm not committing to it, but I could see it happening. Um,
You got that hiking back.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Um, I don't know. I just don't really have any expectations. Really, it's just I just want to I just want to love life. I just want to enjoy life more, or appreciate and embrace life more. That's it, really. I'm not trying to force myself into, oh, I have to do this or that. It's like, no, I just want to enjoy what I'm doing.
If anyone resonates with this message, should they reach out to you?
If you want to, I guess. I'm not like, I'm not gonna lie, I might not even get back to them. But if they want to reach out, I might reach back out. Like, yeah. If you want to reach out, I might say what's up. We can maybe talk, but I'm not guaranteeing that that's gonna happen.
I love it because it's just it's a different vibe and it's a different tone than what I get when I talk to most people who are trying to hide something or who are trying to prove something to others. And you're just like, yeah, man, you can reach out if you want, but I don't know if I'm going to get back to you or not, you know? Because right now I'm figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters. And I respect
Yeah.
that. Dude, It's been good.
Oh yeah, man.